Hello, and it's a warm welcome from Julian Thomas to International Superstars, the Italian-based championship for V8 machines. And we're here for this year's review show. Well, once again, the title went the way of Gianni Morbidelli, who made it 3 in a row after a difficult start to the season. The powerful Superstars muscle cars this year had a new format to work with. 2 25-minute races plus 1 lap, and a number of technical modifications aimed at improving the on-track spectacle and the competitiveness of the series. Right from the start, there were a number of new entries, and this took the total to 8 different car makes throughout the year. The calendar also saw the addition of 2 new rounds at Portimao in Portugal, as well as Kyalami in South Africa, which would wrap up the international series. There were some big new names on the grid, including international racing legend Pierluigi Martini, together with another ex-Formula One driver, Andrea Chiesa from Switzerland, who would join Gianni Morbidelli in this rapidly expanding series. At Imola, the opening round was a spectacular affair with difficult weather conditions and a terrific scrap right until the very end, involving Mercedes, Chrysler and BMW. So away we go for the opening round of Italian and international superstars. We're down on the grid at a very wet Autodromo Enzo Andino Ferrari circuit at Imola. Well, all sorts of things are guaranteed to happen at this opening round, seeing as these difficult conditions make it very difficult indeed for the V8 Superstars machines. And as you can see on the left there, it's Max Piguli powering straight away into the lead, the Mercedes AMG C63 machine, but he's already been passed by a BMW. That's the number 54 car. Stefano Gabalini in there as well, last year's runner-up. And there's the Chrysler of Pierluigi Martini, the silver car in 3rd place, the Chrysler 300 SC. Gabalini leads at the moment for the Carl racing machine, but he gets it all wrong at the Tosa, and that's the end of Stefano Gabalini's race as he is swamped by the rest of the field. So as you can see, it's Max Piguli leading now from Pierluigi Martini. So the Mercedes up at the front, the Chrysler very competitive now at the start of this year's 2009 Superstars Championship. The number 1 car is Gianni Morbidelli, the Royal Motorsport BMW M3 machine, the 2 times winner of Superstars over the last 2 years. Gianni Morbidelli, the start of the season, he wants to make it 3 in a row, but this time for BMW instead of Audi Sport Italia. And it's Martini and Piguli making all the running at the front of the field. The number 23 Chrysler passes Piguli, manages to get through. Still dreadful conditions here at Imola, the renewed Imola circuit, obviously in Emilia-Romagna. And there's Gabalini getting it all wrong, joining the number 58 machine in the gravel trap. Very wet conditions here, so Gabalini and Cesare out. But Martini has to pull into the pits, so that's unfortunate end to Pierluigi Martini's race. Disconsolate faces there in the Chrysler team as the Cadillac slides off the number 27 machine, the Santucci racing car, into the gravel trap. So is the win going to go to Max Piguli here at Imola? There he is in race 1. What a performance by the top run man, Max Piguli, on the top of the rostrum. 2nd place, Gianni Morbidelli, and 3rd, Fabrizio Armenta, as you can see from the results. So, race 2 at Imola, and everything has dried up after that very wet first opening round of the International Superstars Series. We're on board the Jaguar of Ermanno Dionisio. The Jaguar had quite a good run last year, not so competitive at the moment, the start of this season. pace car peels away. The Cadillac is in pole position due to its 8th place finish in race 1, reverse order in Superstars of the first 4 rows out of the grid. But the Cadillac gets swamped by all the other cars. We've got 3, 4, 5 BMWs at the front of the field there, as Pigoli and also Martini having to work their way through. On board with Stefano Gabalini, the number 54 machine. Gabalini very competitive in the BMW 550i for the Cal Racing squad. BMW getting it all wrong there, but it wasn't Gabalini, so Gabalini's got something to chase now at the front of the field as he moves into the lead here in race 2 at Imola. Much drier conditions at the Autodromo Enzo and Dino Ferrari, but Gabalini powering up the front now. 3 BMWs, 4, 5 BMWs up at the front as the Hermano Dionisio Jaguar comes into the pits, and that's Gianni Morbidelli out of the race. A mistake for Morbidelli, so no points for Gianni. Gets the wheels onto the grass, very wet of course, the grass after the race 1 rain, but Morbidelli in the Royal Motorsport BMW M3 pirouettes his way into the guardrail and out of the race, and that leaves things for up at the front for Gabalini as Pigoli is pressing now. Gabalini and Martini as well. Watch out for the silver Chrysler. There he is in 4th place. There's the Jaguar, the number 2. That's lapped because it's been into the pits already. The number 23 Chrysler has to get through. Luigi Martini, Italian and international racing legend. Max Pigoli at the front of the field at the moment, and Martini is now through and trying to pass Pigoli. Bit of bumping and barging there between the Chrysler and the Mercedes, and there we go, they almost touched. Martini just gets the jump on Pigoli, so the win in race 2 goes to Luigi Martini. There's the results: Max Pigoli in 2nd and Armenta 3rd, Papini 4th, Gabalini in 5th. Championship sees Pigoli taking an early lead and Armenta in 2nd place. Well, the Adria circuit saw the debut of the new Maserati Quattroporta in the hands of Andrea Chiesa, with the Italian car beginning its lengthy development process. While out on the track, it was BMW versus the rest. So away we go at the start of race 3, round 2 of the International Superstars Series from the Adria circuit in northeast Italy, and we're already losing some drivers right on the opening lap. BMW spinning all over the place, the midfield runners there. The numbers to watch out for: number 58 is Stefano Gabalini, and the car's bits and pieces flying all over the track as the BMW M3, it looks like, of Gianni Morbidelli clips the tyre wall there. And at the front of the field we've already got Luigi Martini in the Chrysler, Stefano Gabalini in the BMW 550, and Max Pigoli in the number 18 Mercedes, who's making a good attempt to get past into 2nd, 3rd place, and he's under pressure, unfortunately, from a couple of BMW drivers who are moving up the field. That's the number 56 car. That's in fact Gabalini. So is Gabalini going to be able to make the front running here at Adria? And he's already passed Pigoli in the Mercedes and heading to the front now as Martini gets it all wrong. He looks as if he's got a few problems with his brakes. There's the number 58. That's Papini as well. So Gabalini and Papini in the Cal Racing machines, and in fact Martini slides out of contention here at Adria. All sorts of brake problems as he's overtaken by a couple of BMWs at the front, but he's not giving up, is Martini. He slots back into 3rd place. There's the Maserati Quattroporta as the number 37 BMW slides into the gravel. But the victory as Cesare gets it all wrong. The number 56 car, Cesare, spins out, and the win goes to Stefano Gabalini here at Adria. And there he is in race 1 as he takes the checkered flag to notch up his first win of the season. Papini in second place. Luigi Martini third, Cesare fourth, and Brigoli in fifth. So as they power away for race two here at Adria, it's Martini who's trying to make up for his first race disappointment, and already we're losing somebody on the outside, but Martini takes the lead in the Chrysler, and Gabalini is making up through the field, but he would eventually take a stop-and-go penalty for that contact with Papini there. So unfortunately the first race winner Gabalini out of the running here in the second race. Well, Morbidelli is recovering as well, and he's managing to get up to Cesare and Ascani. There's Morbidelli in the number one BMW, passes Mauro Cesare. Well, Pigoli losing power, but there's Gabalini coming in for his stop-and-go penalty for that contact that he had earlier on. Well, Pigoli losing a little bit of power in his Mercedes, and he was passed three laps from the end. Morbidelli had to slow, and the win went to Martini there ahead of Cesare and Gabalini. Quick look at the points again after round two. Martini now takes the lead on 53, Stefano Gabalini 1 point behind on 52, Max Pigoli in third. After the Adria round, the action now moved on to central Italy at Maggioni, where once again it came thick and fast. This time round there was a second Cadillac and the arrival of rally driver Nico Calderola. So away they go at the start of the first race of round three at Maggioni, as Max Pigoli tries to come round on the outside, the first corner, the first right-hander, and he gets swamped by four BMWs there. So unfortunately Pigoli already lost quite a few places. Martini is in there as well, the silver and red Chrysler, which has produced such good performances at the start of this season. Four BMWs at the front. Gianni Morbidelli is in there, the number one car, the two times Superstars champion, and Morbidelli already making a move, trying to get past the number 21 machine, as well as he's tailgating a little bit as Morbidelli trying to move up to the front of the field. The Cadillac going quite well, the number 27, the pushrod American muscle car, 6 litres, unfortunately never quite managed to get onto the front running pace at the moment. There's the second Cadillac, the Santucci Motorsport machines, as the two BMWs are the sandwiches, as the number 52 Mauro Cesare gets knocked off a little bit by Gianni Morbidelli, who's very, very aggressive in the number one BMW M3 machine. And all the while, Luigi Martini is having trouble. He's got a weight penalty, the 80 kilos of weight penalty for winning previous races. So it looks as if the race is in the hands of Gianni Morbidelli, the number one machine, the former Formula One driver, and he's heading for, after a bad start to the season, heading for another win here at Maggioni. The checkered flag flies, and second place goes to further BMWs as the team celebrate Gianni Morbidelli's win. Alessandro Bernasconi was in second, and Gabalini in third place, while Max Pigoli could only manage fourth. The start of the second race here at Maggioni, very tight and twisty circuit. The 6-litre Chrysler of Pierluigi Martini trying to look for a way through on the inside of that front first corner, and he's got into the lead. So what a performance by Martini, as Cesare flies off the number 21 BMW into the gravel trap. Christian Gadina is in there as well, the black Cadillacs and the green British Racing green car. There's the number 21 BMW into the sand as Max Pigoli makes his way past Christian Gadina, the Italian former skiing champion, now firmly in the four-wheeled world. Some good results by Gadina as the season goes on, but still no win for the former skiing champion, as Pigoli looks pretty good up at the front of the field. There's Gadina in second place, Gianni Morbidelli third, Stefano Gabalini in 4th place. There's Gadina, the number 69 machine, holding off well Gianni Morbidelli, as Martini is also up at the front. And what a battle between these two, but finally Morbidelli manages to barge his way through on the inside, and now is setting up the Chrysler machine up at the front of the field. There's Morbidelli working his way past the Chrysler. There's the Maserati at the front as Pigoli comes into the battle as well. So what terrific racing here at Maggioni. Very tight circuit, but it's producing some spectacular stuff here at Maggioni. Luigi Martini leads Gianni Morbidelli in 2nd place once again. Max Pigoli in 3rd. Christian Gadina in 4th, and Gabalini behind in 5th place. Morbidelli's not giving up. He's looking for a way through. And is Martini going to be able to hold off the attacks right until the checkered flag? Gorgeous conditions here in the central Italian circuit of Maggioni, and the victory goes to Martini in that 6-litre V8 Chrysler car. Morbidelli 2nd, and Christian Gadina in 3rd place ahead of Max Pigoli. Quick look at the points table. Martini leads at the moment. Gabalini in 2nd place ahead of Pigoli and Morbidelli. At Mugello, Superstars produced one of the most exciting rounds of the year. Morbidelli, who had a tough start to the season so far, is now getting to grips with his M3, but it wasn't going to be easy. So here we are at the gorgeous Mugello circuit in Tuscany, and these V8 Superstars machines can really put the power down as they head into the first corner, the San Donato, the first left-hander, and we've already lost number 69. That's Christian Gadina. That's the end of Italy's former skiing champions race here at Mugello. All sorts of action happening up and down the field as a Jaguar plows its way into the guardrail as well. Maserati Quattroporta making up the back of the field at the moment as Gianni Morbidelli dives through on the inside of Pierluigi Martini. These two in Formula One, they never had such battles when they were up against each other, but they certainly are making the most of this year's International Superstars Championship. Number 54 machine of Gabalini goes through as well, and Pigoli is challenging for the front positions. There's Mauro Cesare in there, the number 21, and it's BMW versus the rest of the field here, which is made up of the Chrysler and the Mercedes, who are making up most of the running this year, with the absence of Audi Sport Italia, the team that has dominated Superstars for the last couple of years. But Audi Sport Italia will be present in the next couple of rounds as we lose the BMW number 21 car of Cesare into the gravel. So the Chrysler and the number 58 Gabalini, so the Chrysler nudging. And it's not, in fact, Gabalini, it's Mauro Cesare, it's Roberto Papini. So we've lost Papini. He was making an attack on the Chrysler of Martini, but Papini in all sorts of trouble. And we're also losing Gianni Morbidelli, the number 1 car, with a technical problem. That's the last lap of this Mugello race. So what unfortunate luck for Gianni Morbidelli. So the win goes to Stefano Gabalini. And Max Pigoli comes in 2nd place ahead of Mauro Cesare. As a result, the first race, Gabalini ahead of Pigoli and Cesare, Bettini in 4th, Martini in 5th. So away they go at the start of the 2nd race here at Mugello in Tuscany for the 5th round of International Superstars. Mugello circuit allows the V8 machines to put the power down, and that's what Pierluigi Martini has done at the opening races and on this opening lap of the 2nd race. We're already losing the number 58 BMW, that's Papini, into the gravel. All sorts of BMWs up at the front there. One to keep an eye on is the 01 machine of Gianni Morbidelli. Royal Motorsport prepared M3, and that Royal Motorsport team belongs to multiple touring car champion Roberto Ravaglia, so making his statement also in International Superstars. And Morbidelli has got a few problems there with his right front, and his tyre has exploded. So that's the end of Gianni Morbidelli's race here at Mugello. Max Piguli in the Mercedes on the right is having his work cut out, trying to hold off Christian Gadina, the number 69 machine. So a good battle between Piguli and Gadina. Up at the front, meanwhile, it's Pierluigi Martini in the red and silver Chrysler 300 against Stefano Gabalini, the number 54 machine, as Gabalini goes through on the inside to take the lead. So it's going to be a terrific final couple of laps between these two. Not much to choose between them. The BMW 550i Carl Racing machine of Gabalini, runner-up last year in Superstars, and the Zaxpeed prepared Chrysler 300 SC of Pierluigi Martini. So they are really going at it hammer and tongs here at Mugello, and it's Martini in the lead at the moment. The number 23 car holding off the number 54 BMW as Gabalini tries to go through on the inside. It looks as if Martini's going to hold it to the line, the number 23, but he leaves the door open and Gabalini goes past. So can Martini now make up on the final couple of corners? And it's Gabalini taking the lead once again from Pierluigi Martini, and he's heading for the win. And in fact, is Martini going to be able to hold it on the line? But the win goes to Gabalini. So what a terrific battle here at Mugello. There's the results. Gabalini takes the win, Martini second, and Gadina in third, Max Piguli in fourth. The championship now sees Gabalini at the top of the table, followed by Martini and Piguli, but Morbidelli is on his way up. The Algarve circuit in Portugal was a welcome international entry for Superstars. 20 cars were entered for the race, including the return of the factory Audi Sport Italia team and the young Portuguese talent Felipe Albuquerque. So the sun is scorching down here in midsummer in Portugal. The number 1 machine takes the lead right from the start here at Portimao. The red car that you can see just behind him is the Audi Sport Italia of local driver, the Portuguese A1 Team A1 GP man, and that's Felipe Albuquerque, as we lose Roberto Russo, already sliding into the gravel and out of the race. So Audi Sport Italia, who have been such an integral part of Superstars over the last few years, are back in the series with their four-wheel drive RS4 that took Gianni Morbidelli to the win last year, as Pierluigi Martini gets it all wrong, the number 23 Chrysler, and slides out of the race and loses a few positions here. So Felipe Albuquerque is trying to combat against Gianni Morbidelli as we're on board with the number 21 machine, number 10 machine, sorry, as it slides into the gravel. Morbidelli up at the front of the field here at Portimao, and as we said before, Gianni Morbidelli's had a difficult start to the season, but he's certainly on the way up now, and he's making up points on the rest of his rivals as we stay on board with the number 10 BMW. Not much action happening here at Portimao. Gianni Morbidelli looks to have everything sewn up as Felipe Albuquerque making the running in second place. It's a good return for the Emilio Radaelli run Audi Sport Italia team in view of further participation next year. And what else is happening down the field? Christian Gadina is in there as well as the number 56 BMW. Stefano Gabalini also making a little bit of the running here at Portimao. Back on board with the number 10 car. Managed to get round the corner here, the very tight hairpin bend at Portimao. Gorgeous circuit built in the space of 9 months at the start of the 2007 season. down in the south of Portugal. And it was up and running for World Superbikes and is now hosting a round of international superstars. As the win goes to Gianni Morbidelli in the BMW M3 of the Royal Motorsport Team. Felipe Albuquerque unable to challenge much in second place, but a good result for the Audi RS4. And in third place, let's see who's on the grid. On the podium, it's Stefano Gabalini in third, Christian Godina in fourth, Roberto Papini in fifth. So once again, we get a different view of the action here at Portimao. We're on board with Mauro Cesare. The Carl Racing BMW has a moment at the front of the field. Cesare takes the lead as they go into the first right-hander. Albuquerque in second or third place there, trying to work his way up in the Audi Sport Italia RS4 machine. Good performance by Albuquerque. Promise for the future from Portugal. He's raced in A1 GP and he's looking to be one of the factors in this Portuguese race here as he manages to take another place there, passes another BMW. On board with Gabalini, he's got Roberto Russo in front of him in another BMW M3. Gabalini gets it all wrong trying to overtake Russo, but it looks as if Russo came off worse, and in fact he did. There's Roberto Russo, touring car veteran, comes into the pits pretty slowly to replace some bodywork or even retire. There's Roberto Russo, and in fact retirement is the name of the game for Russo. There's the BMW team keeping an eye on their man Gianni Morbidelli as he comes across the line, and it's a perfect weekend at the moment for Gianni Morbidelli. Albuquerque in second place, unable to challenge, and Morbidelli has led every lap of both race 1 and race 2 here at the Autódromo Internacional do Algarve in the south of Portugal. This double win is going to be a great booster for Gianni Morbidelli's title hopes as Albuquerque comes across the line. Gianni Morbidelli waves to his pit crew and win number 2 of the day. Mauro Cesare in third place, Christian Godina in fourth. Up at the top, it's Gabalini who now has to hold off Gianni Morbidelli in the standings. Martini in third place. Dominating in Portugal, Morbidelli now aimed to do the same at Vallelunga. The race saw the debut of another new car make, that's Chevrolet, with Fabrizio Armenta in the Lumina. So away they go at the start of the Vallelunga round here on the outskirts of Rome, for the next round of the series as it's coming to its final few races, and it's all eyes are on Gianni Morbidelli. There he is, right at the front of the field as they head towards the Cimini curves at the bottom of the Vallelunga circuit. Very technical track and all sorts of pieces flying out. There's a wheel rolling away there, so we've already lost the number 5. There's the Cadillac, and there's the Chevrolet Lumina CR8 of Fabrizio Armenta. So an unfortunate debut there for the American, or rather Australian-based car. At the front of the field already we've got Martini, number 23 machine, against the number 21 BMW, Roberto Russo in there as well, and Gianni Morbidelli making the running at the front of the field as Cesare gets it all wrong in the 21 machine and almost slides into the gravel, but gets back onto the track. All sorts of BMWs there, and this time round it's the end of the race for the number 21 car. There's the Maserati Quattroporta. Andrea Chiesa still unable to take that Swiss run machine up to the front of the field, making up a little bit of the numbers here as they head down towards the Curvone. The 21 BMW and the Maserati Quattroporta at it hammer and tongs. Gorgeous looking car, the Maserati, but still slightly over heavy, top heavy in this championship. Needs to shed a little bit of weight, And we've lost the number 54 BMW as well. So cars eliminated left, right and centre, and Pigoli as well. The Mercedes AMG C63 machine out of the race. Max Pigoli, that's unfortunate for the man from northern Italy. Gianni Morbidelli heading for a win here at Vallelunga as he comes out of the Parabolica. His team celebrate. The checkered flag is there. Christian Godina second, Roberto Papini in third. Race 2 once again as the Cadillac is up at the front of the field, but will the Cadillac remain there for long? All eyes on the number 23. That is a storming start from Pierluigi Martini. He's 14th on the grid and he's already in 5th position as they head down towards the Curvoni, and now he is in the lead. So what a performance by Pierluigi Martini to come back towards the tighter part of the circuit into the hairpin there. There's the Santucci Motorsport Cadillac, the black machine in amongst all those white BMWs. Gianni Morbidelli, a little bit of bumping and barging the green Jaguar of Hermano Dionisio. Pigoli is in there as well behind the Cadillac. Pigoli storming his way up through the field as well. And we've lost one car, which put a couple of wheels on the grass, so wheels flying all over the place here as Cesare parks his car in the gravel here at Vallelunga. Up at the front of the field, it's Martini and Morbidelli going at it as well. The number 1 car, number 58, is Gabalini. He managed to stay out of trouble on that storming opening lap by Pierluigi Martini, up from 14th to take the lead at the end of lap 1. The Cadillac in there, not being able to do anything about the number 21 BMW. As Martini trying to head for the win, he's got Morbidelli right behind him. Martini gets it all wrong, so unfortunate end to Pierluigi Martini's race as Dionisio goes off into the grass as well. Andrea Chiesa not running at the front. So is it all easy for Gianni Morbidelli now? Who else has he got to deal with up at the front of the field? No one. And in fact, Morbidelli takes the win in race 2. And that is putting Morbidelli well on the way to the championship. Papini in second and Martini in third. The championship now sees Morbidelli in the lead, followed by Gabalini and Martini and Pigoli. Back in Tuscany now for the penultimate round of the Italian Championship. Morbidelli was on top, and it would be difficult for anyone to take a third title away from him. But there was a new rival on the scene, touring car veteran Roberto Russo. Here we are once again at Mugello as the cars head down towards the first San Donato corner. It's a very, very fast right-hander, and the cars are already on the grass as that looks like Martini onto the grass, taking the lead. Martini goes into the first corner in the lead, followed by 3 BMWs. Roberto Russo in the green and red striped BMW on the outside. Gianni Morbidelli in there as well, keeping out of trouble. Morbidelli looking for his third title as they go across the line to end the opening lap. It's Martini first, Morbidelli second, Russo looking very good in third, Max Pigoli in fourth. So 3 different manufacturers here at the front of the field. We've got Chrysler, we've got BMW, and we've got Mercedes as well. These have been the front runners throughout this season. A superb performance by Gabalini as well. He's trying to do the best he can in the BMW 550i, and he passes Cesare in the number 58 machine for the Carl Racing team. So the battle at the front now. Pigoli looking very good. Pigoli going well as Morbidelli goes through on the inside of the corner. Morbidelli now setting off after Roberto Russo, and the leader at the moment, who is Pierluigi Martini. But there's Russo and Martini, and Russo almost comes flying off as Martini tries to go past from the outside to the inside. So what a terrific move by Roberto Russo, a touring car veteran, the top run team prepared BMW M3, certainly making his name with a bang here at Mugello, as Martini not giving up, but unfortunately that's Gianni Morbidelli who's taking Martini. Martini came off a little bit worse for wear with that contact with Roberto Russo. Max Pigoli now hounding Pierluigi Martini, and Pigoli and Martini make contact as well, so Martini in the wars here at Mugello. Max Pigoli drives his way into the gravel, obviously suffered damage in that contact of the third kind between those two silver machines. So Roberto Russo comes across the line to take his first victory this year in International Superstars. What a performance by Russo, and a great win for the top run BMW M3. Roberto Russo on the top of the podium, touring car veteran. Morbidelli in second place, and Roberto Papini in third, ahead of Cesari and Ascani. Race 2 at Mugello, the lights turn to green, and again they head into the first corner. Very, very fast circuit here at Mugello. All the V8 Superstars machines can put their power down as they take the full width of the track, and it's the Cadillac that leads as they go into the first corner but loses out. The Jaguar's up there as well. We haven't seen much of either of those cars. Neither the Jaguar nor the Cadillac have been really competitive in International Superstars, but it's once again it's contact between Martini and Pigoli. Those two cannot leave each other alone here at Mugello, and into the gravel goes Christian Gadina. Is he there as well as Gianni Morbidelli in the lead ahead of the Cadillac and two more BMWs. So there's Morbidelli, there is another BMW, and Gabalini is up there as well. Christian Gadina in the 69 car as number 21. Ascani comes in hard on the Cadillac. There's BMWs up at the front of the field with the elimination of the Chrysler and the Mercedes of Martini and Pigoli. It's a BMW domination race here. The Jaguar of Dionisio gets it all wrong by himself and into the grass. Stefano Gabalini, he's won a couple of races this year. He's been up at the top of the table, but he's having to undergo the recovery by this man. That's Gianni Morbidelli, the 01 machine, the BMW M3 Royal Motorsport car of the former Formula 1 driver, number 54. And Gabalini in all sorts of trouble there, as Morbidelli comes in hard on Gabalini, and could Morbidelli be penalised for that? And in fact, Morbidelli goes on to take the win here at Mugello, and Roberto Russo is there. Christian Gadina looks good. There's Morbidelli, comes across the line, and Russo and Gadina are in there as well. Papini in fourth place at the moment. So there's the podium with Gianni Morbidelli, but Gadina takes the win as Morbidelli was disqualified. Russo in second place and Papini in third. Those results mean that Gianni Morbidelli is Italian Superstars champion for 2009, the third time in a row. So with Morbidelli champion in his Royal Motorsport BMW M3, the battle had now arrived at the Temple of Speed. The Autodromo di Monza would see the return of a competitive Mercedes, but the result remained the same. So away they go here at the Autodromo di Monza, the ultra-high-speed Formula 1 circuit on the outskirts of Milan. This has been the scene for many a battle, not only in Formula 1 but also in touring car racing. And just look at the front of the field. We now have a blue and silver Mercedes AMG 663 car for Max Pigoli. This car slaloming off all over the place. There's Fabrizio Armenta out of the race once again in his Chevrolet. Now Pigoli has changed colours. Before he had the red and silver machine, now he has the blue and silver machine, and Pigoli making up at the front of the field in the lead as Pierluigi Luigi Martini, the number 23 now. He still has a red and silver Chrysler. Roberto Russo comes through on the inside of the first chicane at Monza. Stefano Gabalini overtaken for that second place. Very early conditions here as we lose an Audi Sport into the gravel. Audi Sport RS4 machine. So Pigoli making all the running here. Gabalini in second place. Martini tyre sliding his way past Roberto Russo. Unable to do it. Gabalini takes the lead from Max Pigoli. So what superb racing here at Monza. And what's happening back at the front of the field is Pigoli in the lead once again. Roberto Russo in second place. Door handling, slipstreaming, drafting action here very early in the morning, as you can see from the shadows here at Monza. Almost unearthly hour that they run this first race, 9:30 in the morning for the very small crowd at the moment. So Pigoli into the lead as Martini parks his Chrysler at the side of the track. All sorts of problems there for Martini. And Pigoli goes across the line and takes the win here at Monza. So good return to form for Max Pigoli. Roberto Russo taking the applause in second place. These men, quite a lot of them are very much gentleman drivers, but they're pretty good touring car veterans as well. Stefano Gabalini in third place. There is Stefano Gabalini takes the second place. Apologies. Roberto Russo in third ahead of Papini and Ascani. A little bit later in the day, the second race here at Monza took place, and some more terrific action as the Audi Sport machines are up in there as well, bumping and barging as they go into the first chicane. The scene for many an accident in touring car racing. Are they all going to manage to get through in one piece without going onto the grass? Well, a couple of them went onto the grass, but they're all through in one piece. And once again, at the front of the field, it's the BMWs, and we've lost a couple of cars into the guardrail there. A couple of BMWs making up the back of the field as they slow down. But it's Pigoli up at the front. Roberto Russo in second. Gabalini in third. The Audi Sport machine there, that's Luca Rangoni, who's looking very good as somebody flies off into the gravel. Who was that? Into the gravel, and what a mess there for the number 21 machine, it looked like. So we've got two BMWs battling here. That's Gianni Morbidelli and Stefano Gabalini, the 3 times champion. Morbidelli, who was crowned Superstars champion, just ahead of Papini. The two Audi Sport Italia machines coming to blows there here at Monza. They will be back next year with a big operation, so we hear. And it's Max Pigoli again, the 18 Mercedes AMG, trying to hold off Gianni Morbidelli, who comes round the Parabolica at high speed here at Monza to complete another lap. To go around the Parabolica once again, it's Morbidelli. There's Pigoli in second place. And Morbidelli heads for another win. It's been a terrific season for Gianni Morbidelli in the Royal Motorsport R3 machine. Flashes his lights, comes across the line. Pigoli in second place and Roberto Papini in third. Championship positions, there we are, confirmation. Gianni Morbidelli the champion, Stefano Gabalini in second, Pigoli third, Papini in fourth. So with Morbidelli taking his third title, Superstars got ready for the final round of the series on the other side of the world in South Africa. For the grand finale, the teams and drivers headed down to Kyalami. And here we are at Kyalami with some new action at the front of the field. It's Fabrizio Armenta in the Chevrolet Lumina CR8 machine who's making all the running. Now Armenta had a couple of unfortunate debut races at Vallelunga and Monza. He was punted off on both occasions, but he certainly looked good here in qualifying, setting pole position at Kyalami, and is leading the race at the moment. Luigi Martini in the Chrysler holding off the BMW of Mauro Cesari, the number 54 car, as Cesari goes onto the grass. Stefano Gabalini unable to make the trip down for health reasons to Kyalami, but he's okay and he'll be back again next season. So what a performance at the front of the field by Armenta. He's finally got the Chevrolet Lumina CR8 machine based on the Australian Chevrolet car, which races in V8 supercars, and the pace car comes out because there's been an accident involving a couple of cars. So Armenta, who had a 4-second lead, now has to do it all again here in the remaining laps here at Kyalami. Kyalami, South Africa, the first time International Superstars has ever been out of Europe. We've had a couple of European races at Portimao and Oschersleben, but it's the first time in the Southern Hemisphere for a series which is showing pretty good growth in view of next year. There's Armenta at the front of the field, and there we also have the Audi Sport Italia cars are back in action as well, as Martini gets it all wrong, tries to re-enter the track but loses a couple of places in the Chrysler 300 machine. The BMW is there. There's Gianni Morbidelli, and who else is battling away? And it's a great performance by Armenta. Is he going to manage to hold on to the lead in this Chevrolet car as they head towards the final few corners? And in fact, Armenta shakes his fist, takes the win here. So what a performance in just his third race for Fabrizio Armenta, and he's going to be a contender for sure next year. There he is, taking the applause of the crowd in the Chevrolet Lumina machine. So on the podium, there's Armenta. Second place went to Christian Montanari, Formula driver making his debut. Third, Mauro Cesari. We're on board for the start of the second race here at Kyalami in South Africa. We've got a red four-wheel drive Audi RS4 at the front of the field. That's Luca Rangoni. He had all sorts of problems in the first race. Making a one-off return to the series is Rangoni, so all eyes on the former Formula 3 champion who won a race in Superstars last year, but for the BMW Royal Motorsport team. Now Rangoni's finally got the bit between his teeth here at Kyalami, so we're expecting some good action from the Italian. He's in second place at the moment. And where is Armenta, the winner of race 2? There he is, Armenta. He's in about 8th place at the moment. Don't forget the top 4 rows of the grid. So if you win the first race in Superstars, you are relegated to 8th place on the grid for the second race. And there's Martini as well. Martini bumping and barging, getting it all wrong with Christian Gadina. And so that's the end of Gadina's race as Martini continues unperturbed towards there he is. There's slow motion once again as he barges Gadina off the track, but Martini has to come in as well. So now Rangoni is leading. The Audi Sport Italia machine, the RS4, looks perfectly at home on this very rough and ready Kyalami circuit. Back in the international motorsport scene after a gap of 7 years, and it was ready for World Superbikes in 2009, and it's now hosting the final round of the International Superstars Series. As Rangoni uses his four-wheel drive, doesn't lose 1 inch on the grass as Rangoni gets it all wrong, but manages to head for the victory in any case. As number 54, the BMW, was that Cesari off as well. But Rangoni making all the running at the front of the field as cars flying all over the place here at Kyalami. The rough surface making things very, very difficult indeed, especially for the two-wheel drive machines. So there we go, and in fact there's a downpour, so it's very slippery here at Kyalami. The race comes to an end. It's red flag, so the win goes to Rangoni, and second place goes to Fabrizio Armenta. There's Rangoni's team celebrating with the former Italian Formula 3 champion. There's the results. Rangoni ahead of Armenta and Montanari. He's going to be a contender next year. Gianni Morbidelli in 4th. final championship standings. Morbidelli takes the international series as well. Figoli in second, Cesare in third. Well, there we have it. Some great racing throughout the year in Superstars, both in Italy and abroad. Join us again next year for more of the same. This has been Julian Thomas reporting. Bye for now.